All right, so which? So, who came up with the name? Whose idea was that?
Maybe mine.
Yeah,
I think.
so.
I want to talk in the mic.
Oh. It was my idea.
And any significance behind it, or?
I'm a witch.
Good answer. So you guys haven't released an album since 2008, is that correct?
That's correct.
And why is that? How did that happen?
I guess we all do other things and kind of lazy too.
Yep.
So it just kind of, we've been trying for years to try to do something, but we're all spread out. Like I live in Vermont, Jay lives in Massachusetts, Kyle moved to LA a long time ago, and he lives in Australia now. So we're spread out all over the place, and it's tough to get together. Even doing a show is tough because we have to fly somewhere. Like the beginning of this tour, we had to fly into Hamburg and then practice for 2 days because we hadn't played together in 3 years. And Jay's not here, so we have Mario from Earthless filling in, and he hasn't played with us on a fill-in situation. Maybe it was like 10 years ago. Yeah, a long time. So, but
oddly enough was Graham's first show. Which oddly enough was Graham's very first show with Which. So yeah. So, but we have history. So.
All right. So is this anyone's main project, or is this all kind of like a side project for you guys?
I think it's just we all just do other things, and this is just a fun thing to do now at this point. Yeah, it's not a main project for anybody.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So what differences have you guys noticed between crowds like in Europe and like in the US, or just like the festival concert situation in general?
Festivals, I mean, you don't see a lot of that in the States. You've got your smaller things that happen in Vegas and Anaheim and whatever, but for the most part in the club shows, it's very similar, I think, to the States, where if you're in Berlin, it's almost like being in Brooklyn, New York, where guys just stand around like this with their arms folded and shake their head, but you play some weird place like, well, not weird, but you play like Buffalo, New York, or you play some place in the middle of Bavaria and people go crazy, you know? So they let it out as opposed to that holding back and being all reserved about.
The smaller towns, the people tend to be more hungry for music because they don't get it as much, whereas the people in the cities are jaded, you know.
Cool. All right. Do you guys have any hints for young, up-and-coming, like rock metal musicians?
I guess my only thing is that you just gotta keep doing it forever, you know, just be relentless, and then eventually something will happen.
Be a lifer about it, or don't do it at all. There's so many bands though that I know that did like one record, and now the one guy's working doing this and that, and they don't play music anymore. It's bands that used to play with us that just say, "Oh, we don't do that anymore." They don't even pick up their guitars. I remember talking to Austin from Saviors about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I don't." And this band toured. They did Ozfest. They did all kinds of stuff, and now they just don't do anything. It's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be kind of like either bands like have 1 and 2 records and just fuck off, or they are in it for the long haul.
Are you allowed to curse like that on TV?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't know what it's for, but it's cool.
It's kind of my first time doing this, so.
Man, you're letting it go. Fuck.
See, now we both don't have cursed, so we're cool now. It's maybe kind of unprofessional that I was the first one to do it.
Sure, man.
But whatever.
He's the Bill Grundy of the Alps.
All right, so maybe one last question. Are there any decisions that you regret in your career? And on the flip side, are there any decisions that you would never take back that are like the best decisions that you could have ever done?
I wouldn't say I regret anything, because you just try to have as much fun as possible, and if something's not fun, don't do it anymore. And then you don't regret shit. Like, as soon as you stop having fun, just stop doing it.
That's true.
I would say maybe I regret not putting out an album in the past 15 years, but but also I think it's the secret to our longevity that we don't really do anything, so we don't really hate each other.
Well, but the thing is though, I think if you really try, I found this, if you really try to go for it, those are the bands that they just disintegrate because they're so hungry to do it. They burn out with their own enthusiasm to make it. And if you don't care to a degree, then it just keeps going. That's what
whatever their vision of like getting that return, like if they're just going for it and charging and like just touring and touring and touring and they're not really getting the return that they think they should be getting, or recognition, or like whatever it is, you know. Some people get angry, they get bitter. It's like, F this, you know, and like, I'm just gonna stop doing this shit, you know what I mean? Or you keep going, you know. So kind of same thing with Earthless, like we would always take breaks and then just keep going, you know. So it's like,
don't be over careerist with it, just have fun.
Don't try too hard.
no, try harder. Never say die. Yeah. That's the only die. Anyway, like his band Earthless, they go in and out of phases. He plays in other bands, other guys in the band play in other bands, but they just keep coming back and they fit back into a groove. And I think we've been able to do that every time we're offered shows or tours. It just seems to work. So anyway,
Well, thanks so much, guys. I'm excited for the show.
yeah, thank you.
See you later.